Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I will be covering what is database and what is DBMS, and I will explain characteristics or features of DBMS, database tasks in DBMS, advantages and disadvantages of DBMS, and at last I will explain applications of DBMS and history of DBMS. Guys, whatever the topics that I am going to cover in this video, I will provide all those topics and the timings in description. So before starting this video, please check in description. Guys, I have uploaded complete DBMS subject tutorials. I will provide link in description, you can watch from there. If you are watching this video for the first time, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Let's get started. At first I will explain what is database. But before starting this, you need to know what is difference between data and information. At first I will explain what is data. Data is a raw, unorganized, unprocessed fact. And whereas information is the processed, organized data that is beneficial in providing useful knowledge. Guys, data is nothing but it is a raw fact. And whereas we call information as processed data. Guys, I will give one example so that you can clearly understand what is data and information. Let us consider I written some numbers like 27935. This is an example of data. Data is nothing but data is a raw fact that don't have much meaning. Yes, 27935. These are numbers. It is a fact. But what are these numbers? Either these numbers are student marks or student roll numbers, we don't know. So we call it as data. Just in place of writing 27935, I will write here student scores 23579. Now we call it as information because it has meaning, like this numbers belongs to student scores. So we call it as information. Information is nothing but processed data. Next I will explain what is database. A database is an organized collection of structured information typically stored electronically in a computer system. I will explain this definition. For example, my database name is my database. Inside this database, I created one student table. Student table contains name Raju Ramesh Shiva and roll number 21, 22, 23 and section ABA. A database is an organized collection. Organized collection means in database we will store data in organized format, like we will store all names in one place, all roll numbers in one place and section in one place. So we call it as organized collection. So a database is an organized collection of structured information. Structured information means in database we will store data in structured format, like we will store data in tables. Table is nothing but structured format. So a database is an organized collection of structured information typically stored electronically in a computer system. That is nothing but we will store database in computer. This is definition of database. A database is usually controlled by database management system. Shortly we call it as DBMS. Guys, DBMS is nothing but it is a software. By using this software we can create database and as well as we can perform various operations on database. Like we can create table, we can insert data in my table, we can modify data and also we can delete data. A database is a collection of related data organized in a way that data can be easily accessed, managed and updated. Guys, in database we will store related data. For example, if you consider student table, in student table we will store only student information like student name, student roll number and student section. And similarly, if you consider employee table, we will store only employee information. In database, we will store data in tables format. So it is very easy to access, manage and update data in database. Database can be software based or hardware based with only sole purpose storing data. Guys, database depends on both software and hardware. For example, if you want to create database or if you want to insert tables or if you want to insert any data in database, definitely we need database software. And in order to store data, we need hard disk. Hard disk is an example of hardware. So database can be software based or hardware based. And one and only purpose of database is to store data. Databases can store data in the form of tables depending upon the type of database. As we know, in database we will store data in the form of tables. Guys, before starting this subject, you need to learn some basics like we call it as student table. We also call this table name as relation. Table and relation both are same, don't get confused. And similarly, name, roll number and section, we call it as column names. And we also call columns as attributes or we can also call it as fields, all are same. And similarly, total there are 3 rows like Raju 21 and A section, Ramesh 22 and B section, Shiva 23 and A section. And total there are 3 rows. We also call rows as tuples, or we can also call this rows as records. All are same. If you consider second row, Ramesh, rule number 22 and section B, we call it as row, or we can also call it as record, or we can also call it as tuple. So just you need to remember this. Next I will explain what is DBMS. DBMS stands for Database Management System. DBMS is nothing but it is a software that allows creation, definition and manipulation of database. DBMS is nothing but it is a software. By using this software, we can create database and also we can perform various operations on database. DBMS provides us with an interface or tool. By using this interface or tool, we can perform various operations like we can create database, we can create tables in my database, and also we can store data, we can delete data, and we can update data and so on. These are various operations that we can perform by using this interface or tool. DBMS also provides protection and security to the databases. That is nothing but we can keep password to the database management system software. So only users, those who have password, can access database. It also maintains data consistency in case of multiple users. Meaning of consistency is correct. Guys, not only single user, there are multiple users who use single database at a time. Even though multiple users use single database at a time, data will be in consistent format. That is nothing but data will be correct. Guys, these are some of the examples of popular DBMS used these days. They are MySQL, Oracle, SQL Server, IBM DB2, PostgreSQL, Amazon SimpleDB. All these are examples of popular DBMS used these days. Edgar F. Codd is the founder of Relational Database Management System in early 1970s. Relational Database Management System is nothing but data which is stored in the form of tables, that is in the form of rows and columns. Next I will explain characteristics or features of database management system. First feature is data stored into tables. In database we will not store data directly. Instead, at first we will create table inside database and then we will store data inside the tables. Data is never directly stored into database. Data is stored into tables created inside the database. DBMS also allows to have relationship between tables, which makes the data more meaningful and connected. That means, for example, let us consider there are 2 tables. One table is student table and next table is CSE student table, where student table contains information about all students in the college. Either student belongs to CSE or AML or EC or EEE, this table contains details about all students. And whereas CSE student table contains details about only CSE students. The student table contains 3 columns. They are rule number, name and branch. We call this rule number column as primary key. Primary key is nothing but any column that contains unique values is known as primary key. For example, if you consider name column, there may be same name for 2 different students. And similarly, if you consider branch column, there may be same branch for 2 different students. But if you consider rule number column, there will not be same rule number for 2 different students. For each and every student, there will be different rule numbers. So we call this rule number column as primary key. Now what I will do is, I will connect this student table with CSE student table. Whenever I connect this student table with CSE student table, for example, in student table, I want to change name Rajesh to Raju, whose rule number is 21. I am changing name Rajesh to Raju, whose rule number is 21. Whenever I change name Rajesh to Raju, automatically it will update this information in CSE student table. So automatically it will change name Rajesh to Raju, whose rule number is 21. Here I created relationship between 2 tables. The tables are student and CSE student table. DBMS also allows to have relationship between tables, which makes the data more meaningful and connected. You can easily understand what type of data is stored where by looking at all tables created in a database. For example, if you create an employee table, then you can easily understand that this table contains employee data. So you can easily understand what type of data is stored where by looking at all tables created in database. This is first feature. And next feature is reduced redundancy. At present, if you want to purchase any hard disk, then it is very cheap. But in olden days, if you want to purchase any hard disk, then it is very expensive. So unnecessary repetition of data is very big problem. For example, in the student table, name Sai, rule number 21 and section A repeated twice. It will lead to wastage of memory in hard disk. So unnecessary repetition of data in database was a big problem. But DBMS follows normalization, which divides the data in such a way that repetition is minimum. Database management system follows normalization technique. By using this normalization technique, we can reduce this repetition. So it will remove this row. Third feature is data consistency. Meaning of consistency is correctness. On live data, data that is being continuously updated and added, maintaining the consistency of a data can become a challenge. But DBMS handles it all by itself. Guys, in database we will store huge amount of data. So maintaining correct data inside database is one of the challenging tasks. For example, I changed this rule number 25 to 35. Next time when I open the same table, then it should display rule number 35, name Ravi and branch aiml. So it should display correct information. So database management system will maintain correct data in database. And fourth feature is support multiple user and concurrent access. DBMS allows multiple users to work on it at the same time and still maintain the data consistency. Guys, not only single user, but there will be multiple users who will work on single database at a time. Even though multiple users work on single database at a time by using database management system software, data will be correct in database. Fifth feature is query language. In database management system software, in order to create data or in order to create tables or in order to insert data, update data or delete data, we need to use structured query language. Shortly we call it as SQL. By using SQL commands, we can perform various operations. And sixth feature is security. The DBMS also takes care of the security of data, protecting the data from unauthorized access. In a typical DBMS, we can create user's account with different access permissions, using which we can easily secure our data by restricting user's access. For example, let us consider this is my college database. This college database contains student table, faculty table and so on. Now what we can do is, we can give password to each student. Only student with password can access this database. So we can protect data from unauthorized access. And we can also give access permissions. Access permissions are nothing but, for example, for students I am giving only read access. So only students can read this information. Students cannot modify data which is present in database. Students can only read data which is present in database. For faculty, if I give write permission, then faculty can change data which is present in database. This is write permissions. Like this, we can give various types of permission to different users. Seventh feature is data integrity. DBMS ensures data integrity by providing mechanisms to maintain the correctness and completeness of data. Guys, database management system will provide data integrity. For example, let us consider there are three tables. One table is CSC students table, next table is aiml students table, and next table is DS students table. Now what I want to do is, I want to integrate. Integrate is nothing but I want to combine all these tables. Now I want to create college students table by combining all these tables. So we can easily combine. That is nothing but we can easily integrate data. Even though if we integrate different tables, data will be correct. This is meaning of data integrity. And eighth feature is backup and recovery. Backup is nothing but whatever the data that is present in database, we will maintain multiple copies of the data. So even though any failure occurs in database, then we can easily recover the data. Next I will explain database tasks in DBMS. A database management system performs several tasks related to managing databases. These are various tasks. First one is data definition. Data definition is nothing but defining structure of database, like how many tables we need to insert inside database, how many fields we need to insert inside table. Fields are nothing but columns. How many columns we need to insert inside table, and relationship between tables, like we need to relate one table with another table and so on. All this comes under data definition, and we also call this data definition as schema definition. Schema is nothing but structured representation of data in database is known as schema. For example, if you consider in database we will insert data in tables, so we call the table as schema. And second one is data manipulation. The name itself says manipulation is nothing but modification, like inserting data, updating data, deleting data and also retrieving data. All these are data manipulation tasks. In order to create, update or delete data, we need to write queries. So we also call it as query processing. Third task is data retrieval. The DBMS provides a query language that allows users to retrieve data from the database. The most common query language used in DBMS is SQL, that is structured query language. For example, let us consider this is CSC student table. Now I want to identify marks of the student whose roll number is 35. So for that purpose, I need to write query by using structured query language. So just I am writing here command, that is select star from table name, that is CSE student, where column name, that is rule number equal to 35. So whenever I run this code, it will display data of student whose rule number is 35. So I'll get output 35, Ravi, and marks 25. Fourth task is data security. The DBMS provides mechanism to ensure data security and prevent unauthorized access to the database. Guys, for database management system software, we can keep password. So only person with password can access this database. And also we can give various access permission to various users. And fifth task is data integrity. For example, I want to create one table by integrating various tables. So even though if you integrate data from various tables, data will be correct. And sixth task is backup and recovery. Backup is nothing but whatever the data that is present in database, we will store multiple copies of the data. So even though if any data loss or data corruption occurs, then we can restore data very easily. Recovery is nothing but restoring data. Seventh task is concurrency control. Database management system ensures that multiple users can access the database simultaneously without conflicts. Guys, not only single user, there are multiple users who will use single database at a time. So even though if multiple users use single database at a time, then this database management system can handle multiple users without any problem. By using this locking and transaction management, we can handle multiple users. Next I will explain advantages of DBMS. First advantage is improved data sharing. DBMS enables multiple users to access and share data simultaneously from different locations, leading to increased collaboration and better decision making. For example, there are three users. One user is from Hyderabad, one user is from Bangalore, and one user is from Goa. Now by using database management system, all users can communicate by sharing data. Though if user is in any particular location, he can easily share data. Next advantage is data security. I already said before, data security is nothing but we can keep password over DBMS. Third advantage is data consistency. Consistency means correctness. In database management system, we can apply data constants. Constants are nothing but rules. These constants ensure that data is consistent and accurate. So data consistency, that is nothing but correctness of data, can be achieved by using data constants in DBMS. Fourth advantage is backup. Database management system contains automatic backup. So even if any failure occurs, then we can easily recover data. And fifth advantage is controls data redundancy. Redundancy is nothing but duplication. Database will not allow duplicate values. All the data is stored in one place. So it is easy to identify duplicate values. Sixth advantage is data integrity. It is easy to integrate data by using DBMS. And seventh advantage is easy backup and recovery. I already said before, DBMS perform automatic backup. So even if any failure occurs, then we can easily recover data. Next I will explain disadvantages of DBMS. First disadvantage is cost of software and hardware. DBMS is nothing but it is a software. So we need to purchase database management system software. It is costly. And similarly, cost of hardware. Guys, in our system we need to use high-end processors. And also we need to purchase high memory hard disk, which is costly. And next disadvantage is complexity. Guys, normal user cannot use database because in database we need to use structured query language. So DBMS is complex. And third disadvantage is size. In database we will store huge amount of data. So large amount of storage space is required. So we need huge amount of memory in order to run DBMS efficiently. And fourth disadvantage is depends on DBMS vendors. Vendors are nothing but person who supplies database management system software. We cannot directly update database management system software. Vendors should keep on updating software. So it depends on DBMS vendors. For example, suddenly vendors left company, or he discontinued business, or he discontinued support of the product. At that time, there will not be any updates for our DBMS software. So dependency on DBMS vendor is one of the disadvantage. And fifth disadvantage is data security risk. We must configure and maintain our database management system properly. If we don't configure and maintain database management system properly, then hackers can easily hack our database. And sixth disadvantage is high impact of failures. Whatever the data that is present in my database, all the data is stored in one place. If any failure occurs, then all those data will be lost. This is another disadvantage. Next I will explain applications of DBMS. Guys, in many fields we will use DBMS. Let us see some of the applications where DBMS is used. First one is railway reservation system. In railway reservation system, database plays very important role. For example, I went to railway station and I purchased a ticket to Vijayawada. Now my information is stored in railway database, like what type of ticket I purchased, at what time I purchased, and what is cost, and my name. Everything is stored in railway database. Not only ticket booking information, but also this railway reservation system database stores various information regarding trains, like what are the trains available at present, at what time train will arrive, and at what time train will start, and also it gives information regarding late trains. All this information is stored in railway database. And second application is library management system. Normally libraries contains thousands of books. Library database will store various information regarding books, like what types of books available in library, and name of the book author, how many books issued to customers who will visit to libraries daily. All this information is stored in database. And third application is banking. We use database in banks. Daily in banks there will be thousands of transactions, like how many people withdraws money, how many people deposits money, and so on. All this information is stored in database. And fourth application is universities and colleges. Nowadays many colleges and universities are using database management system. Universities and colleges stores various information in database by using database management system. They will store information like student name, student details, student fee structure, student course, and also faculty information, faculty salary, marks and grades of all students, and so on. All this information is stored in universities and college databases. And fifth application is credit card transactions, like how many items you purchased by using credit card. All this information is stored in database, and this credit card information is secured. No one can hack this credit card information. Seventh application is finance. Nowadays many of them are investing money in finance. All this information is stored in database. And next one is military. We also use database management system in military in order to manage military database. Military database contains information regarding soldiers, like how many soldiers are working, their names, and so on. This military database also contains information regarding various military assets, like how many aircrafts, how many military vehicles available, and how many weapons are available. All this information is stored in military database. This database also contains information regarding our country's security. And next application is online shopping. Nowadays many of them are purchasing products online. For example, I purchased one product in Amazon. Now whenever I purchase product in Amazon, all my information is stored in database, like my name, what type of product I purchased, and purchase date. All this information is stored in database. And 10th application is human resource management. Nowadays in each and every company we are storing employee details, like employee name, employee joining date, employee salary, employee tax, and so on. All this information is stored in database. Next one is manufacturing. Even in manufacturing companies we use database management system software in order to manage database. Manufacturing company database contains various information regarding products which they are manufacturing. For example, if you consider one company is manufacturing soap, so it will contains all details regarding the soap product, like how many soaps they are manufacturing daily, and various chemicals that they are using in order to manufacture soap. Daily how many supplies are going on. All this information is stored in manufacturing database. And next one is airline reservation system. It is same like railway reservation system. Airline reservation system contains information regarding airway passengers, like person who purchased a ticket, his name, at what time he purchased the ticket. And this airline reservation system also contains information regarding flights, like at what time flight will arrive, at what time flight will start, and any flight delay status. All this information is stored in airline database. So we also use database management system software in airline. All these are various applications of database management system. Applications of database management system is nothing but in various fields we use database management system software in order to manage database. Next I will explain history of DBMS. DBMS stands for database management system. This DBMS is nothing but it is a software. By using this software we can manage database, like we can create database, we can insert data, we can delete data, and we can modify data which is present in database. DBMS was first developed in early 1960s in order to manage huge amount of data for scientific and military applications. Whatever the database management system software developed in early 1960s, the software is used only to store data and retrieve data, but we cannot perform any modifications on data. Just we use this software in order to store and retrieve data. And the software was designed for mainframe computers. Guys, mainframe computers are nothing but old computers which was developed in the year 1944. The early database management system software was integrated data store, which was developed in the year early 1960s. We call this early database management system software as integrated data store. This integrated data store software will support data definition language and data manipulation language. And next in 1970s. In 1970s, relational model was developed by Edgar F. Codd. He is the person who developed relational model. Relational model is nothing but data which is stored in the form of tables, that is in the form of rows and columns, is known as relational model. In relational model we can use normalization. Normalization will improve data integrity and eliminates data redundancy. The first relational database management system software was developed by IBM in mid 1970s. Some of the popular relational database management system softwares are Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, PostgreSQL. All these are examples of relational database management system softwares. And next, in 1980s, actually there are some disadvantages in relational database management system. So in order to overcome these disadvantages, object-oriented database management system was introduced. The name itself says object-oriented DBMS. In object-oriented DBMS, we will store data in the form of objects, which contains both data and as well as procedures that operates on the data. In object-oriented DBMS, we can store pictures, audios, videos and other type of data, where it is impossible to store in relational DBMS. Just remember these points. In object-oriented DBMS, we will store data in the form of objects, not only text information, but also we can store audio, video and pictures and so on in object-oriented DBMS. But still, this object-oriented DBMS is not recommended. In 1990s, web-based DBMS was introduced, which allows the users to access data through the web browser. Directly by using web browsers like Google Chrome, Firefox, we can access databases and also we can perform various operations on databases in internet itself. Even though if users are in different locations and users are using different systems, users can easily access database through internet. And next, in early 2000s, NoSQL database was introduced. This NoSQL database use non-relational data models. In NoSQL database, we will not store data in the form of tables. In NoSQL database, we will store data in the form of classes and objects. For example, I want to store two records in relational database. One student name is Raju and age 25. So I can store that information like Raju and 25. Next time, I don't want to store age, I want to store rule number of another person. That person name is Ramesh. So again, name column is already present, so I can write here Ramesh. Again, I need to create rule number column in order to store rule number of Ramesh. So I am storing rule number, that is 55. For example, there is third student name is Shiva. This time I want to store name Shiva and section A. So name is already present, so directly I can insert Shiva, and the section column is not present. So again I need to create section column and I need to write section A. So for a single record I need to create separate column. This is waste of time. So in order to overcome this problem, we can use NoSQL database. JSON is example of NoSQL database, where JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. In NoSQL database, we will not store data in the form of tables. Instead, we will store data in the form of class and objects. This is example of JSON. Here I took name Sai and rule number 20. And again I took brackets. Inside brackets I written name Ravi, section A. Guys, among all these databases, relational database is best.